Welcome to the show. It's simply divine. Talking faith and food, where we intertwine with Farah. It's simply divine. It's simply divine.
Hey, it's Farah, and welcome back to Simply Divine, the show where we talk to all of your favourite Christian and gospel music artists and find out what makes them who they are. Today I am joined by the beautiful Sarah Teibo. Hello! Welcome.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm alright, I'm good. I'm excited.
I am
nervous
excited.
and everything in between.
Yeah, you should be nervous, I'm not gonna lie. But to calm those nerves, I've got a little something for you.
Okay.
We are gonna wake ourselves up with a little bit of vitamin C.
Okay.
With a little bit of lemon juice.
Frightened for a second. The shot plastic
I mean,
cups.
you probably should still be frightened. But it's, you know.
Not in one gulp, right?
Of course. Oh, of course.
okay.
Oh, of course. No, we're not gentle
Nobody
about this.
warned me about this,
No,
everyone.
and that's the point. What would you like to toast to?
Health and a wonderful Christmas.
Let's do
It's a
it.
bit early, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's never too early. Right, let's do it.
Oh.
Oh. See, I always say... Not the vocals, that sounded like a turkey. What would your ideal dish be that we'd be cooking? What do you like?
Spaghetti bolognese. Not like it's my favourite, but I think it would be an easy win, right?
We have done a spaghetti bolognese episode.
Oh no.
Many a thing happened in that one. If you have not watched it yet, don't. It's fine.
I think that would be a breeze for me.
Yeah. Did you know how to make spaghetti?
Yeah, I mean,
As in like from scratch?
No, I don't.
And that was my problem. These guys are not actually our friends. They just pretend.
oh, they had to make the spaghetti from scratch.
Sarah.
Oh, I take that back.
Sarah. You think that these people are nice? They're not nice.
Oh,
No.
Oh, my ideal would be rice and stew then. At least I don't have to make the rice from scratch.
They're gonna make us go out there and pick our rice. I wouldn't put past them. Okay, right, let's do a little drum roll. Ready? Ooh, rice. Ooh, yeah, the camera can't, they can't see what we've got.
Sorry.
Okay, is that an onion? That's like 3 onions squished into one.
I think we're making a curry with rice. From all the smells I'm
Oh,
getting.
yeah, I've got a big curry whiff.
I made curry this week.
Okay,
just
that's
gone.
great. I see flour.
I think that's cornstarch actually.
Oh, okay. And this is...
It's like tomato, chopped tomato, that.
See, I guess coconut milk. I think that's coconut milk.
So where would we need tomato for the curry, right? That should be tomatoes because you can't have a curry without
I
chopped
see your
tomatoes.
vision. I do see your vision.
Yeah.
I do. So we do have 2 clues. The production team have made 2 hints for us. They are in the form of a riddle. So we've also got to figure out what in the world the riddle's trying to tell us.
Yeah, let's wing it and see how
Okay.
how far
I
we
mean,
can go with
rice
that
I feel
clue.
good with. I feel like rice I can cook.
Yeah, as long as we've got salt. You can't go wrong with rice.
We've got salt behind us.
Yeah.
And we've got some oil.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got some bits and bits. Okay, cool. Let's get started.
Oh,
Oh.
chickpeas. And
Oh.
there's no tomato. Okay.
No, that's...
This is very interesting. We're supposed to be making a chickpea curry.
Yeah.
With no tomatoes.
That's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
It's
okay.
fine. It's good. I know, obviously you're born in the UK, but you grew up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like your music has got influences from, I feel a bit of influence from both regions. But
Yeah.
do you feel like you're more musically Nigerian, more musically British, or are you just kind of your own?
Yeah.
Where do you start from when you're?
You know, it's
kind of
very
making music?
interesting because if you're talking about British anything, it's a mishmash in and of itself. Whether it be food, music, art, you
Isn't
know.
that the
so
truth?
yeah, so in a sense, I'm kind of like a mishmash as well because I've got influences from everywhere. Obviously, my Nigerian heritage, but also being born in the UK. But yeah, I think it's literally a reflection of where we are, which is a hybrid, an eclectic mix of everything. But ultimately, if you listen to my music, you get that influence of soul.
Yes.
So whether I'm singing an Afrobeat song or a worship song, or it's usually quite soulful. At the time, people used to call me Soulful Sarah. I actually considered having that as my artist name.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So do you feel like music is something that you were called to, or do you feel like you kind of fell into it?
Because I started singing in the kids choir in church at about 10, about the age of 10. So I'd say at the time, I just kind of discovered that I had a gift, that I had a voice. In terms of calling, I'd say when I was in my teenage years, I really wanted to be a singer, like professionally. But as you very well pointed out at the start, I am Nigerian.
Yeah.
And Nigerian homes, for those who don't know, there are probably only 3 professions you can be.
Yeah.
You're a doctor, a lawyer, an
Say it
accountant,
again.
possibly an engineer.
Say it again.
So not to say in a Nigerian home you're not allowed to pursue music or art, but you always have to have
You're
something
encouraged
else.
in a specific.
You need to have an education, a profession, a career, a qualification,
Of
and
course.
then if and when you decide to, at least you have a backup plan. That's
Yeah.
the point. So, so the onions don't go into this according to the setup, right?
I'm so tempted to ignore him.
I genuinely am, because I can't make a curry without onions.
I'm so in agreement with you.
I'm like, how do?
It's fine. This is our recipe.
But yeah, so in my teenagers, I wanted to pursue music. Kind of finally followed my heart when I was a bit older, and I think that's something to say regarding if you've got a passion, a gift. Don't feel like it's too late. If you want to pursue it, you still can, however old you are.
So did you have a career before you started music?
Yes, I actually am a certified accountant.
Okay, so you went down the Nigerian route.
I did.
You went down the Nigerian route.
My whole family actually went down. So my brother is an engineer. I'm an accountant. My younger sister's a doctor. I've got an older sister she's actually training to be a professor or something.
Oh, your parents must be so proud.
Yeah,
I love that. That's very exciting. So what was it that made you then decide at whatever point, you just said about 10 years ago when you went music full time?
Yeah, just about 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
so what
Just
was it
over
that
10
made
years.
you finally decide to be like, nope, you know what, I'm going to give it my all, this is what I want to do?
This is the worst onion chopping. But anyway, again, I've had many situations and instances where people challenge me about my singing because, you know, they come to my church, they hear me sing, lead worship or lead a song. I need more oil. And they're like, wow, you know, what are you doing with your gift? Have you considered going to studio? I remember one time Mary came to our church and I happened to be, I need more oil.
There we go.
Thank you. I'm like, what is this? I happened to be soloing the song and one of them actually stood up. And for me, it was like validation from somebody who was credible. It wasn't until 2014, I was led to fast for 40 days. And over the course of those 40 days, the Holy Spirit dropped in my heart. First of all, the clear direction to go ahead and release a project.
Yeah.
What it should be called, what the songs on the project should be about, and some even clear instructions on how to go about promoting, which I'd never done because I've only, at the time, I'd only ever sang in church. There's a lot of learning, and you know, I mentioned earlier today that as a result of that, I do have a passion for helping other artists figure out, kind of navigate the
industry.
The industry, because it can be very tricky, especially as a Christian artist.
Do you have any regrets, or do you feel like you made the right decision?
I think I did. If anything, I'd have wished I did it earlier, but I think I'm at the right place at the right time. I'm where God wants me to be now.
Yeah.
So in all things, I'm actually grateful. And on reflection, I'm glad that I got the opportunity and still do have the opportunity to actually do ministry in church, be a recording artist, and still, you know, pursue a career as well.
No, I love that.
So, and be a mom and a wife. There's a lot that I do actually.
No, but that's amazing.
Which is why I'm grateful that I get the chance to
do
everything.
everything.
Be able to do all of those.
Oh,
who knows? You know, if I
superwoman.
started earlier, probably I wouldn't have had the chance to get married and have kids. So,
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got all that. Look at that, guys. Isn't that inspiring? I keep very nervously looking over at that flour.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I'm nervous about is the fact that there's onions and then there's whatever that little pot of seasoning is.
Have we put salt in the rice?
Ooh, I forgot to turn that down. I have put salt in the rice. Okay. Yeah, but I need to drop that real quick. This is the time you want to start. That's curry powder.
That's a lot of curry for what we have, considering we don't have tomatoes.
So everything is measured out. So we are technically meant to use absolutely everything.
I can tell you right now that your comment section is going to be triggered because how do you make a curry without tomatoes?
Listen, I go
your
where
comment section is going to be triggered.
I go where I'm directed. Can we have a clue?
Okay, can we have a clue?
Yeah.
Because at this point,
we might just be cooking the wrong thing. We might have just assumed.
Because
We could have jumped to some assumptions here, Sarah. I'm a fried delight with onions in the mix, spiced and crunchy, a savoury fix. Often enjoyed as a starter or side.
Oh
What
no,
am
you're
I
not
with
spring
the crispy
onions.
Fried? No, it's something to do with the dish, but curry
please.
isn't crunchy. What do you have with curry that has onions in it? Maybe I just don't eat enough curries. I have no idea, but I'm just gonna cook.
crispy fries.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make flatbread with onions.
Flatbread.
It's
It's not naan bread because I've never had naan bread with onions.
with onions. You've not? Is it like scallion pancakes?
Wait a minute. Is this a stock cube?
It is stock.
Oh,
Onion rings.
Indian version.
Onion bhajis.
okay. So we're supposed to make onion bhajis with that, not with the rest of those, though.
No. That's the onion bhaji plate.
Okay.
Okay, new problem. Have you ever made an onion
No, I've
bhaji?
never made it. Isn't it water and flour? Right?
I'm gonna assume so.
Yeah, we're gonna wing it. We're gonna wing it.
Cool.
I'm
Cool,
just.
cool.
Oh my god, I can't do
Cool.
this without tomato.
Yes, you can.
It's just-
Oh, it smells good, guys. It smells very good. This is going great. Go, Sarah.
It's not going great.
No, it's going amazing.
Because there's no tomatoes. The water for this was not provided, so I would imagine we.
You drank the water.
I always drink water.
So 2023 was an interesting year for you.
Yeah.
You went through some stuff. I mean, I can't imagine that anyone has ever really thought about getting cancer and kind of how you'd react to getting that kind of news.
Yeah.
And particularly, you know, as a singer and as a musician, thyroid cancer.
Yeah,
I mean, no cancer is good cancer, but
Oh my god, yeah.
but
No
that
such-
one,
I don't want to hear that
particularly
word.
when
Yeah.
your livelihood depends on your voice and your singing.
Yeah.
How did kind of your diagnosis affect, especially the trajectory of your career? Because obviously at that time, you obviously said you'd been in the music, you started quite late, and at that time you were doing really well, and it's a really exciting time for you, and then getting that news.
Yeah.
How did that kind of affect things for you in terms of where you were going professionally?
It's interesting because when I got the diagnosis, by that point I'd done 3 studio albums and I was starting to plan for the next project.
Of
and
course.
so we'd already booked a studio session for Songwriting Week with my team, and that was supposed to happen at the end of May. But then towards the end of April, I got the news of the diagnosis, and one of the things, as you kind of alluded to, that the consultant said was there's a risk as a result of the surgery of having an impact on the vocal cords. And as a matter of fact, after the surgery, I did have what was called mild vocal paresis, so mild paralysis on my vocal cords on the left side of my vocal cord. Actually, after surgery, I could barely talk, eat, swallow, singing was out of the question altogether. So the first thing to be thankful for is the surgery was successful.
Yes,
the
of
tumor,
course.
which was on my thyroid, was taken out. And
Amazing.
the backstory of that was my sister, who's a doctor, thank the Lord, noticed a swelling on my neck.
Right, so that was your first.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing is,
okay.
I had no pain. I'd not, had any discomfort or anything. And every time I remember and I reflect on this, I have to remind people if there's anything unusual, abnormal in your body,
Get it checked.
get it checked, even if it doesn't hurt, because I'd had it on me for a good few years.
Yeah.
But I had no issues.
For years.
For years.
Wow.
But it was like, it's nothing, it will go. They asked me to go for further tests, and it turned out that on the other side, the left side, where there was actually nothing visible to the eye, there was
That's
a
where the
cancerous
cancerous
tumor.
tumor was. Wow.
So that was a signpost to something else.
Yeah.
Hence why I had to be rushed in for surgery and have my whole that really that broke me, because I just didn't want to embrace the idea of losing a part of my anatomy.
Yeah.
To have
Of
that
course.
whole organ ripped off, that was
So they
something
took out the whole thyroid?
The whole thyroid
Wow.
was taken out. I had to really reconcile with that reality, and that was a hard one for me, and mentally as well. As a Christian, I literally went to God with a whole cocktail of emotions, from fear to anxiety to disappointment to anger, because it's like, why am I eat healthy, I don't smoke, I exercise, I fast as often, so why is cancer coming up in my life story almost?
Yeah.
So one of the things that God dropped in my heart was the fact that he would use human hands to heal me.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is I actually bumped into a lady not too long ago. She was literally at the door.
Yeah.
And I went to her and I was trying to talk to her. She didn't have a voice. She couldn't make up any sound. And I was trying to communicate to her, and she told me her neck was swollen. She told me she had been diagnosed with the same thing I was diagnosed with, but she was struggling with the concept of surgery.
Right.
Same as I was. Sometimes we feel like we're the only ones who are having these battles and debates. And I remember saying to her, I actually did a whole mini series on YouTube. I did like a 5-part probably between 1 to 5 minute long
Yeah.
videos where I talked about my journey. One of the episodes talked about me having to embrace the fact that God actually is our healer, even if he uses surgery, medicine, whatever. And I encouraged her to go listen to it. So I was glad that I went through that season so I could be an encouragement to somebody else.
I don't know if this is right, by the way. Does this look?
This looks like mango chutney.
I think so.
I have it on the side.
I have it on the side.
So why would
So yeah, not everything is for cooking. It's just all for the dish. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to be a bit worried there.
Does this look good to you?
What are we to do with it next?
This is onion bhaji mix. Fararai has never made onion bhajis before. Fararai is learning how to make onion bhajis. I, again, want to apologise to the whole South Asian community.
As do I. I make curries and this is not how I make them, and I'm like, oh,
the lack of tomatoes is really stressing you out.
It's stressing me out.
You've not moved on from this.
Because I wouldn't have put the chickpeas in. I would have, after that, I'd have put the tomatoes in and my tomato puree, let that cook for a bit, and then put the chickpeas, and then put the coconut milk, and then put the spinach.
Yeah, I'm stressed out with the lack of coconut milk. That for me.
Okay.
That for me is
Your
but it's
viewers are
fine.
going to be having a good
It's
laugh.
fine.
because
It's gonna be delicious. How has your entire cancer journey affected your relationship with God? Because I know, it's a big thing. It is a big thing, and I know especially as Christians, we kind of get taught to. Well, we are taught to have faith in all situations and just trust that everything will work out and everything happens for a reason. But it's a lot easier to say that when you're not.
When you're not in it.
When you're not in the trenches, it's very easy
That's
to
the
do
thing,
that.
and I think that's one of the other things that, you know, God dropped in my heart when I was talking to him about why do I have cancer and I shouldn't have cancer because I'm a Christian. And then he reminded me that if I know him, I can only know him to be my healer. If I bring something to him to heal. So we need to firstly acknowledge, because I'm like, I don't have cancer, and it's a thing of faith, right? I don't have this either, but actually, how is God going to heal you if you don't say, Lord, here is the cancer?
Here is the cancer. Wow.
You know, because I didn't want to embrace that. So there's been so much for me to learn through this whole season, and also getting back my voice. Getting back my voice as well. I apologize to everyone watching because I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Lord have mercy.
Oh, the yogurt is inside. Ooh, this is a remix.
It is, because there's no coconut milk in it. So
I'm not wrong.
something's gonna have to go in. Otherwise, how do you eat this? There's no tomatoes, there's no coconut milk.
You're right, and I can't be mad at you for it.
We need to have some essence.
I can't be mad at you for it. I think we get very focused on our situation, and we don't really give God the freedom to show us why the situation's out. I think we sometimes have a very rigid expectation as to how things should go. But like you said, you won't have a testimony unless you've been through it. Yes.
Because I did lose my voice.
Yes, let's talk about that. Going back into music. What was that journey?
It was hard. It was really hard. And many nights I went to bed crying because I couldn't sing. Because naturally I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be, how do I put it? I didn't want to make a thing or quote unquote of it where I'm going on social media every day.
Yeah, doing a whole
So I was
update.
recording it in private, just kind of saying, here's day X of, you know. And one day I'll be brave enough to actually share
post
those
it all.
videos.
Yeah.
But I was trying to chronicle my journey just to see what I was sounding like over the course of the months after surgery, and each time it was very depressing. It was very depressing to look in the mirror and not be able to sing. So thankfully I was able to get access to therapy. I had to learn to sing again. Yeah, so it's at that period I had to embrace at a point the possibility of never being able to sing again.
That's terrifying.
Yes, I had to say to God, if...
How was it? No, don't make that face. No, Sarah. Sarah, please don't do that to me. Don't do it to me.
No, it's alright. It's edible. I mean, if there was a famine or a war...
That's not what I'm trying to hear. What I'm trying to hear is, wow, that was,
It's alright.
Okay.
It's actually not half bad. I remember having to say to myself, I actually say to God, if I never have a voice to worship you, I would still say hallelujah. If it meant I had to bark like a dog, learn a new skill, wave flags, whatever, my resolve is to worship. After that sort of period where I was making those discoveries and, you know, talking to God through all of that, I started seeing a turning point. Also, I had a scripture I was holding on to in Isaiah, talking about God bringing life to dead things and strength to the weak.
Yes.
And I confessed that over my voice as I diligently did my therapy. And it kind of reminds me of, you know, a number of situations in the Bible where it was like a turning point. Abraham took Isaac in obedience, even though he had no clue how it was going to pan out. But he just went ahead. It's like, even if I will obey, and then God is like, actually, no. And so I felt like I was in that pinnacle of my faith journey where it was like, even if I don't sing again, even if I don't have a voice again, my resolve is to worship you. It might be in a different way. As we originally planned to have a songwriting thing in May, I still went ahead with it.
In May?
I don't know if you see this, you can see the stitches. I went in with the dressing on my neck.
Wow.
Still, 3 weeks after surgery, barely able to make a sound, but because we booked the studio, I was like, we're gonna go ahead.
So you had your surgery in April?
I had my surgery on the 3rd of May.
3rd of May.
At the end of May.
Wow, in the same month?
The same month.
Ooh, Sarah.
3 weeks after, I was in studio. Over the course of the week, we wrote the 5 songs on the EP, but I couldn't sing them. You know,
but you wrote them in faith.
Oh, I did. I made some sounds. I was part of the whole process.
Of course.
I was there and, you know, giving them my melodies as basic as they were. And it took about 5 to 6 months of vocal therapy and rehab for me to get back to the point where I could sing the songs.
What advice would you give to somebody who's currently going through, maybe not the same situation, but who's in a valley, like in the depths of the valley, and they can't see the exit point?
I think the first thing I'd say is allow yourself to grieve if you have to. Don't feel like you have to be strong and happy or, you know, okay. Even. If you feel like right now you just want to grieve. I literally did a mind dump onto my notepad on my iPhone. I just poured every single thought I was feeling, all my questions, confusion, frustrations even. I just began to write them all down on my iPhone. And that kind of, in a sense, relieved the burden that I was carrying in my heart. For some reason, we as Christians think that we shouldn't lament.
Yes.
It's okay because we literally have books in the Bible
of nothing but tears.
David goes into God's presence so many times, and you can see the beginning of the psalm. It's like, why art thou downcast, O my soul? That I think is healthy. Don't feel for whatever, it is looking okay. Don't feel for whatever reason. Don't beat yourself up for feeling, you know, like you need to grieve. If you want to grieve, because it's God actually gives us feelings for a reason. It's actually healthy to express those feelings. More importantly, move on from there. Because even when we talk about those psalms and even Lamentations, it ends in praise. It ends the very last verse always comes out with, yet will I trust him. Yeah, I know my Redeemer lives. Yes. Yeah, I know my. So it's coming to a point where you're like, okay, I have acknowledged that I'm in a bad place now, and things aren't looking like they should. And that's the key. God, you know, so I think that's the key thing. So no need to be delusional about what we're going through.
Yeah, of course.
But also remember that God is in us, is with us rather, in it.
Out of that entire chaos, a beautiful EP came out.
Yeah.
If you have not heard it, Human Like Me it's a great EP. My favorite song on it is I Believe.
Oh no, don't.
No, I genuinely, that song gives me goosebumps. I was listening to it on my walk yesterday, and I can feel it. I think every single song on that EP, I can feel what you were going through.
Yeah.
And it was just, you're talking about, you know, the doctors have said what they're saying, but whose report do I believe? And it's Sarah, you did your thing on that one.
Oh, thank you.
You did your thing. Oh, this looks so good. It smells delicious.
Actually.
It smells delicious.
What seasoning? Was that just curry you put in?
It was whatever Billy gave me.
Okay.
I'm going to assume it was curry powder. I don't know. It was yellow.
Yeah, it would have been curry.
A yellow spice. Okay, Billy's shaking his head. It was not curry powder. I don't know what it was. I feel like we need a bit of a musical dance break.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. You want to perform All Clear for us?
Yeah. As long as I don't need to do choreography and all that.
No, well, a little bit of a shimmy, I think, is warranted. Let's have a little bit of a, come on.
It's gonna be okay. Doesn't matter what they say. I got my wings back today, so I can fly. My heart's a city full of pain. Just like London in the rain. But I got my wings back again. I got my wings back. I got joy like a river. I can't see no roadblock up ahead. Right now, it's a green light. There's not a cloud in the sky, so I know it's a green light. It's the start of the rest of my life.
Did you put it on?
No, because there's only a little bit. It's just a tiny little. Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like. Okay. Yeah.
Are you doubting my culinary abilities?
Hey.
Okay. I'm not gonna.
I don't think these are any standards that we should be setting for anything.
I think we need to have more faith in ourselves. I do.
Actually, I do. Consider how these turned out.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Aren't they pretty?
Yeah, and I think maybe there's a kind of curry you make without tomatoes and coconut milk
And
that we don't know about.
And we discovered it today,
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
don't
very
know
proud of
about,
us.
so-
I'm so proud of us. You've had some amazing collaborations. You've worked with a lot of very incredible people. There was one in particular I personally would like to know a little bit more about that you've collabed with in 2018. A certain Mr. No Weapon, a certain gospel icon, Mr. Fred Hammond himself. How, when, what,
Oh, yeah.
what, how, yeah.
That question.
That's the question.
Always comes up.
That's because it has to. Because this, and I was watching the music video. I said, not him on FaceTime.
Oh, yeah.
How did we get there?
That's a very good question. I always like starting to answer that question by saying I didn't in a million years ever dream that would ever happen, because I probably am one of his biggest fans, as millions of people around the world are his biggest fans.
Oh yes.
Worked on my second album. I've literally recorded all the songs. They're all done.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that song that you're referring to, Like a Child,
Yes.
the remix with Fred
And
Hammond.
it's such a vibe.
It
It's
is.
such a
You
vibe.
should
If you
listen
need
to
a little
it.
something to strut to, little gym workout,
Yes,
like a child
actually.
remix. Yeah, sorry, I'm cutting you off. this is an important
we
conversation
like
to
a
have.
good cheeky plug here and there.
Yes.
So I'd recorded all the songs. That song I'd already released as the lead single from the album.
Yeah.
It features Jason Nicholson Porter and Tahila Daniels.
Yes.
And it was already released. And the project as a whole had already
already
been fully
done.
fully recorded. The album had been albumed. And that particular song was heard by some people in the US.
Right.
And they emailed and said, ooh, this is a really good song. I think it would benefit from having a feature with an American artist to kind of open up the project to that audience, basically. So what American artist would I like to collaborate with on a remix? And I'm like, I have no idea. Well, if I had to be very ambitious, maybe Kim Burrell, because I absolutely love her voice. And it was like, name somebody else. I'm like, okay, I don't know. You tell me.
Crazy about these things.
You tell me. And then he actually said, how about Fred Hammond? I'm like, what? Say what now?
I didn't realize that was an option.
Yeah, I had no idea we had those
list.
kind of options. So he was like, yeah, send us the song, and if he likes it, he'll do it. And that was how it happened. So I sent him the song, and I couldn't wait to hear back if he liked it, first and foremost.
Yeah, of course.
And then obviously if he was going to do it, and it turned out that he did like the song, and
And
the
he
rest is
did.
history. So
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. Okay, we're gonna be right back because we are gonna plate this and make it look pretty. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you have less faith than you should.
yeah.
I think we should be proud of this.
Okay.
Don't look too closely at that. I think we should be proud of this. Okay, we're back. As you can see, we have made chickpea curry, onion, what I can only call it onion pancakes. Should we try the chickpeas first?
Yeah, why not?
Let's start with the chick. Let's eat them by themselves. Cheers. I think it's just a different curry flavour to what we're used to.
Maybe.
You know?
I'm going in for the second, so
Yeah,
it's not bad.
let me have some with some rice and maybe some mango chutney. Yeah. I don't hate it.
Me neither, to be fair.
This is it. Okay, should we try the onion pancakes?
Onion pancakes. Okay.
I don't know if they classify as bhajis. Oh, they definitely don't. They are not meant to be this doughy.
I wonder if the onions should have been fried to crunchy.
Probably.
Because I feel like I've eaten it with crunchy onions.
They're usually a lot crispier than this.
Yeah.
And it does not taste like I put salt, but I put a lot of salt. Do you know what? For people who had no idea what they were supposed to be making,
This is actually good.
I'm really proud of us.
No,
I'm so proud of us.
Really, really good.
We've done incredible. Your future musics, how are you, do you feel like your music style is looking to stay the same? Have you ever thought about branching into different kind of gospel genres? Where are we looking for the future?
That's a really good question because pretty much for the whole course of my career, I've been very versatile in how I write, create and release music. And it's been multi-genre as well in a sense because on all my projects you'll find an Afrobeat song.
Yes.
You find like soulful R&B gospel, and my third album was more like worship, devotional type music. The whole album was more individual, and obviously this project, I find it hard to even define human like me because it's so personal. It's literally my story, my life. So in a sense, I've literally, apart from rapping.
And is it ever too late?
I've done that when I was a teenager.
So then
I just never released
Let's
it.
reload it. Come on.
What, you want me to rap?
Is it still in the archives? We can do a little release. we can do an exclusive here on Simply Divine. I'm sure the people would love to.
I think my kids are gonna call us like mad. Yeah, if I ever rap, even if I rap to just them in the house, nobody else looking, they'd be like, Mom, stop.
So we are done here. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us. Do you want to let the people know what you're working on? Where can they find you if they want to keep up with your music? I'm gonna keep eating while you talk.
On Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, it's Sarah Teibo Music. So you can connect with me there. If you want to email me, music@sarahTeibo.co.uk. I also do plan to do more co-writing with artists. That's something I actually enjoy doing is writing music. So I plan to do more co-writing in the coming year.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you have learned as much as I have. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Welcome to the show. It's Simply Divine. Talking faith and food, where we intertwine with Farah. It's Simply Divine. It's Simply Divine.
You're supposed to make a mango chickpea curry.
Oh, it was
We're supposed to put that in as well.
So, if you're thinking in terms of tomatoes and coconut milk.
Well, now I know it was meant to be mango.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And that was korma paste, so it was a sweet curry, not like tomato. It's like more of a korma base.
Yeah. Okay. So the chutney was supposed to go in.
There's a little bit extra for you to have on the side.
I see. Well, to be fair, it does. I think
But it's the same difference. You could have mixed it in.
Like now that we're eating it with the chutney, it does. It works
okay.
very, very well. Okay. Anything else? Did we get anything super wrong?
Well, the quantities and proportions on the menu.
Yeah, that onion. Can we talk about the size of that onion?
One onion. That's the only onion I had.
Okay, so we weren't supposed to use the whole thing because we used half.
Well, there was no onion in the recipe from the website that Harry told me to get recipes from. There was no onion in this curry.
Interesting.
It was just a chickpea. It was just chickpeas and spinach. What went wrong with bhajis is you cut them wrong. You dice them, it's strips. You're supposed to slice them into strips and then more stringy, and that's why they would have fallen more.
That makes more sense.
That
makes a lot more sense. My default is just to dice.